Yay!
Oh, a good, nice white cup. Here we go.
Down to
I won't spill.
No, be very careful.
All
All right, let's check. Is it?
Can you hear me?
Is it? Can we get his microphone turned on, or do we need to flip it on? We might have to troubleshoot. Let's see. Hold, please. This is a live show, guys. No. Here, why don't you trade with me? You can chat for a second, and I'll get this one figured out. Okay,
Hello?
yeah, now there we go.
Yes. All right, here we go.
We did it.
We did it.
Oh my gosh. How's your
I
week?
knew I would make this awkward.
No, it's okay.
Leave it to me.
We're totally fine. How's your weekend been so far?
My weekend has been great. The hotel's amazing. The convention's amazing. The crowd's amazing. There's been amazing people here. Yeah, it's been good.
What more can we
How's
ask
your
for?
weekend?
My weekend's been really, really good.
Good. A lot of talking.
Yeah, a lot of
good,
talking,
good.
the wrestling thing, and just getting to meet really cool people like yourself. So it's been really great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I wanted to start by something that you posted that I thought was really, really cool.
Okay.
And you said horror has continued to evolve and get better.
Yes.
And that you are so proud to be involved in this genre as much as you have been. So I want to know, how have you seen the genre evolving since you've been part of it?
It's evolved obviously because we're seeing all these movies like Hereditary and Barbarian and Pearl and X, and it's horror is not like it was in the 80s or 90s where it was kind of like, shunned upon a little bit. Like it was like horror, people loved it, but still it was kind of like a thing, And nowadays it's cleaning up at the box office. It's the stories, the writing, the acting, it's all top level. And it's been fun to be a part of the growth of it,
Sure.
Yeah.
And I saw you're also currently doing a rewatch of the Conjuring series.
Yeah,
So
yes.
where are you at in the rewatch?
I just started yesterday, so I watched The Conjuring and then I watched Annabelle. And I'm doing The Conjuring 2 tonight, and then Annabelle Creations. I think I'm trying to watch them in the order that they came. No, not the chronological order. The order they came out.
Oh, okay.
Because so I'm gonna do it that way. I don't know why I want to rewatch. I guess because it's been a while since I've seen them, and now that you can watch them all together, you can see if there's any, Easter eggs or whatever.
Plus, they're really good.
They're really good. They're great. The Conjuring's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing, and I hadn't seen it since it first came out, so it's nice to see it again.
I also saw on an interview that you had participated in not too long ago, you were wearing a Stephen King Rules shirt.
I have had that shirt for quite some time. Yeah.
So are you a fan of the Monster Squad? And did you get to?
It's
can woo.
It's
We
a
like
double.
woo.
I bought the shirt for my love of Stephen King, but I am also a huge Monster Squad fan. But I love Stephen King, so yeah, it's kind of got a double meaning when I wear it.
Do you have a favorite horror monster?
I love Frankenstein, if we're going to go classic, and then, of new, Leatherface and obviously Chucky. But yeah, there's so many great ones.
Yeah. What has it been like getting to know Chucky?
It's actually really weird. I've done movies with people like Travolta and Stallone and Sharon Stone and all these people, and you get starstruck when they come in the room. Like, especially, when a Travolta walks in the room, it's like, oh my God, there's Travolta. Or you hear Sly. I remember the first time me and Sly spoke. It was on Zoom, and you hear, "Hey Devon, how you doing?" It's like, oh my God, that's Sly Stallone. It was the same thing when they brought when the puppeteers walked in with that Chucky doll. It was like, oh my God, that's him. That's the little guy from, the VHS I used to rent back in '89 1990 and continuously.
Yeah, and he's still going strong.
Yeah,
still
and I was starstruck, and then you work with him, and it gets some. You have to get used to it because you do scenes in bits and pieces, but it was a blast. It was a lot of fun doing that show. Yeah.
I also wanted to ask, because obviously, like you mentioned, you've seen this genre evolve, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Casper, which is, I'm assuming right? We can clap it up for Casper.
Yeah.
Were there any memorable behind-the-scenes moments from, filming the final scenes?
So I had been working as an actor since 8 years old, and I've been working in Canada and doing Canadian television, Canadian commercials, Canadian theater, and Casper was my big break. They did a nationwide search. There was thousands of tapes that went in, and I truly believe my tape just landed on the right desk at the right time, and I had the right look, and it kind of was. That's how it went. But my biggest memory was, as a kid from Canada, they all of a sudden I had a first class ticket. It was my first time, getting on a first class airplane, and I remember my grandma putting dinner rolls in her purse, because she was worried we weren't going to eat later. And then just getting to Hollywood, and it was a limo, and that was the first time. And they drove us to Universal Studios, and it was just big and gigantic, and it was such a difference of the stuff that I've been doing. And that's probably my biggest memory, is how in awe I was of the whole. I mean, they had built an entire house inside a soundstage, and I had never seen anything like that before. And those are my biggest memories. And obviously Christine and I hit it off really well, and we'd go off to do now and then after that. But my biggest memory is just how I was in this whole new world of American filmmaking, and it was gigantic and big, and yeah, I still remember it vividly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So cool. I also wanted to ask about working with Fred Durst, and I
Yeah.
was also curious if you got to see him on tour.
I have not seen him on tour, although he's invited. So Fred Durst was awesome to work with. He had that rock star kind of feel on set, and we got along really great, and I would love to work with him again. He's actually the reason I worked with him, and I was like, oh my God, I like working with these rock guys. They got a good energy. And so this Glenn Danzig script came along. I was like, Glenn Danzig, that's got to be kind of like Fred Durst. It wasn't. Still an interesting experience, but Fred Durst is amazing. He really is. He's a cool guy, and I'm glad that Limp Bizkit has made a comeback kind of thing with he's got the gray beard going on. He's dressing like an old dad or something. I don't know. It's awesome. He's amazing. Yeah.
I was so mad I missed that tour with him and Corey Feldman. I heard it was great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see. Next one.
Cool.
Next one.
All right. So if it's okay with you, we're going to take some questions from the
Yeah.
crowd. Again, we do have
Okay.
a microphone. We already got some people in line. Hey, friend, what's your name? Oh, can we get the mic turned on in the crowd? Try again. Nope. There. Yes,
There?
we did it.
Okay. Hi, I'm Allie. First, I just want to say you are such an amazing, dynamic actor. The range of roles and characters you have played over the years is just phenomenal.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
And so my question is there anything in particular you do to really hone in getting into those characters? Because you've played so many different characters.
Yeah, in my every actor's process is different. I'm not method, that's for sure, but I kind of take a little bit of that thinking process, whereas I just kind of build a backstory of every character, even if it doesn't exist within the script or anything. I'll kind of try to invent as much as I can about an individual character, so I have memories and whatnot. And then when the wardrobe goes on and you start saying the lines, and it all starts to work. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the two characters in the first season of Chucky, when that goatee went on and the mechanics coveralls went on, and you kind of just hunch over and you're a down man and you've got an alcohol problem. It all starts to flow, and you just find it as you go. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Annie, and my question is, Final Destination basically traumatized an entire generation of people. What's it like for you knowing that even people who have never seen the movie get majority of the references?
I'm glad that you did that. I mean, I'm glad that I hear about the log truck on a daily basis. I'm glad that people tell me about the trade table, although those are non-existent anymore. Any of the new planes, they kind of fold up here now. But for a while, those little things on the plane, I heard about that all the time, and it's flattering, and yeah, I'm glad people connect that way with the films. So I'm glad I haunted people and they're scared to death of driving behind log trucks and flying on planes and getting laser eye surgery and whatnot. Yeah.
I got like LASIK right after I saw that movie. It was
that's
terrifying.
Yep, it's there's they just wrapped number 6. One of the kids that played my sons on season 1 of Chucky is one of the leads of Final Destination 6, and he says it's just incredible. They've taken it, to the next level for these. I mean, they have to. The technology's come so far since we did the first one. The first one was all practical effects, and they have the ability to do so much more nowadays. So I can just imagine that number 6 is going to be crazy.
And like you said in your question, I can't wait to see what additional trauma now we have after the new one.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There'll be all new stuff that you guys are gonna. I've heard a couple of them, and it's gonna be log truck worthy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, what's your name?
Yeah, I still don't remove the thing off my luggage. I make them do it.
Yeah, that one too.
So, Stan.
Yeah.
How do you feel being part of such a weird part of our vernacular now?
I love that I was part of that. I love that the whole story went down like they were looking for the Stan character, and Dre had just seen Final Destination, coincidentally, and loved it. And so we met, and Dre was directing it, and he signed off on me, and they drove me down to the studio to meet Eminem, and he signed off on me, and we did it, and like. You kind of knew it was going to be that big. Like, I kind of knew he was going to be that big. I remember my agents and managers not wanting me to do the music video just because no one was doing music videos back then. Eminem had one big album out. No one knew if he was going to have longevity. But I knew he was special, and obviously if he's, Dre's taking him in, and he's got to be something. I'm happy that... I'm flattered that Stan is in the dictionary, but it's all Eminem. He's just a genius.
Hey.
Hi, Devon.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Sorry.
That's my wife.
My
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. My question was, a number of your films and stories that you've put out have been really impactful and resonated and kind of formative for me at different stages of my development. What are some of those films and stories for you, whether it's when you're younger or kind of throughout your life, that have had big impact or maybe changed how you view the world?
Films in general, what films have impacted me? One of the big films, and it just was because of when it came out and the age that I was Pulp Fiction. When I was 15, we were doing Now and Then in Savannah, Georgia, and that movie dropped, and we must have seen it every single weekend we were there. And it was the first time that I looked at film like up until that point, it was just fun to go to set. Like it was just a bunch of kids hanging out, like little giants. We were all playing football. It was just fun. It was just fun to go. It was like summer camp kind of. But after seeing that film and being that age, and Quentin Tarantino kind of changed the way films were going at that very point, I just knew there was more to it. There was an art really, and that's when I first started looking at film. Like, okay, what is the character? Where is he going? Where's, what is the story? What is my purpose in this? And like different tones. And that was the first time. It had a huge impact on my career. And yeah, that was one of the films. And there's a lot of films along the way that things like Rain Man, Goodfellas, watching De Niro and Pacino, and watching how big Pacino was in certain movies. I don't think anybody else could get away with doing what he did in Scarface. Like, it's just gigantic and it works. Nick Cage in Raising Arizona was impactful to me. A lot of Nick Cage films were Leaving Las Vegas. He was just crazy, and there was a lot of films. I think. I hope that answered your question. I kind of ranted a little bit.
That was great.
Have you seen Longlegs yet?
I have seen Longlegs. Yeah, it's I liked it. I did like it. I think that's another example of horrors just cleaning up right now. They're doing smart stuff.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi, my name is Michelle Pink, and I
I
know
like your
we
T-shirt.
were all our teenage crushes as a kid, but
Thank you.
I was like, at this point in time when we watched the Chucky series, I noticed you play multiple characters.
Yeah.
And I know my daughter cried when you died the first time and the second time. And you play different characters. Are you planning on playing more characters?
I spoke to Don this morning, and it's all complicated right now. I will tell you that Chucky is going to come back some way or another. He always does. There's going to be more Chucky stuff, I hope, next year. I will work with Don again one day. I love the guy. He's been a phenomenal boss and friend, and so we'll see. But there's going to be more Chucky stuff. I don't know where I'm going to fit. Hopefully it'll be soon, and I will fit somewhere.
Which was your favorite death?
The elevator scene in season 3 was my favorite to do, just because it had such a. We were obviously doing a Shining thing, and Shining is an important film to me. So to swim around in that, blood-filled elevator was a good day.
All right.
As strange as that sounds.
Hey, what's your name?
Hey, my name is Lexton, and with your involvement being in Final Destination 6, can you give us a hint of what to avoid next when...
I'm not in 6, just to clarify. What? I'm not in part 6?
I know you're not in part 6.
Right.
Can you give us like a hint of what's going to happen, like what to avoid this time, like log trucks?
I can't. I don't even know.
You don't even know?
They guarantee that any of the cast members or crew that are involved in that show had to sign some serious paperwork before getting a script for that. I'm sure I'll see an early screening, but it's not ready yet. But I have heard that they've tested it a couple times and that it's phenomenal. Yeah, so I would be excited. I don't know what deaths.
Well, have a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Ben. As a big fan of the Chucky series, watching it when it comes out, I was wondering, when you were approached for the roles in the first season, was it always the plan for you to come back in the next seasons as a different character, or was it, how did they approach you with that?
No, when I received the scripts, when I received the offer for the part, I knew it was one season. I knew it was one and done. I knew when I would die. I got all 8 scripts. I knew I was dying in 1 and 7. And then you just go up there and you have fun. You're gonna make the best of this one season, and then at the end of the season, Don approached me and said, he'd really like me to come back and do another season, but then didn't tell me that I would be playing different characters or what it was about. So I, went away for a few months trying to think of how he was going to bring back the uncle or the brother, whether it was going to be dream sequences or maybe there's zombies. I don't know. It's Chucky. Anything could happen. And then he hit me up with, hey, by the way, you're going to be playing a whole different guy, and don't worry, people will like it. And it's like, oh, okay, all right. And sure enough, it worked.
Awesome.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Angela, and my question is, you being a big Stephen King fan,
Yeah.
if you got to play any role from any one of his novels, who would you want to be and do?
I've always wanted to do The Long Walk. I always wanted to play the sergeant or the yeah, I always wanted to do that role, but unfortunately it's been cast. I believe Mark Hamill's doing that role right now as we speak. They're filming it, but that book has always been in top 5. They did The Stand. I love that book. Desperation could be redone. Regulators, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of.
Well, there's always remakes down the line.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Luke.
Hey, Luke.
I just wanted to say that it's very cool to see a Hollywood celebrity who's, for such a long time, been very vocally supportive of the LGBTQ community. So I really thank you for that. And
yeah, no problem.
It makes a difference, definitely. And secondly, I was wondering if you could give us a deadpan, meme-worthy delivery of the line, "Gay rights."
Deadpan. Give me my direction again.
Deadpan, meme-worthy. Into the camera.
Where is the camera?
Right there.
Is it straight back there? Where is it?
Gay rights.
Yes, thank you so much.
Wait, was that evil though? That was good, right?
I felt
Very 90s action. Gay rights. It's actually no problem at all. It's not even. It's yeah. I've been supportive for a very long time that I don't even think that I'm doing it. I'm just doing it because it's what we should all do. So
true. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Chelsea, and I'm going to take it in a completely weird direction.
Uh-oh.
So you were in a movie that I'm probably the only one that knows about it. It's called Life on the Line. It was a lineman movie.
yeah.
So I'm the daughter of a lineman.
Yes.
So like when
Thank you.
when that movie came out, my dad was super excited. Like he invited everybody over. We had popcorn. We watched it. We had pizza. It was like a big thing.
Is this gonna get bad? Is this going to bad? Am I getting a film review at the end?
No,
of this?
no. My question was,
Yeah.
did you actually climb the poles, or was
Yeah.
that all just special effects?
We went down to a place in outside of Houston, Texas, and we got a week crash course in climbing shoes. I actually wanted to keep my equipment to trim my trees of my house. They wouldn't let me. But yeah, we climbed. We learned as much as we could. There's certain stuff obviously they wouldn't let us do because it is a very dangerous job, and those guys are underappreciated for what they do. They're the first responders at a lot of different things. Travolta was very serious about putting out a good product as far as telling the story of these.
Well, my dad was really impressed with it.
Good. Well, then, perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Heather.
Hey, Heather.
So my question was, you said that there's possibly another season of Chucky coming out. Would you like to be a character that makes it to the end, or would you like to be killed off again?
There officially isn't going to be another season of Chucky coming out. It was canceled, but Dawn already has in motion a potential movie and other stuff. So there's going to be Chucky content. I may or may not be involved. I don't know. It's too early. But listen, Chucky, they sell a lot of Chucky t-shirts. They sell Chucky cereal, Chucky bobbleheads, Chucky Funkos, Chucky this, Chucky that. So they're gonna put out some more content because it's so popular, and Dawn is so passionate about that character. So it's coming. There's stuff coming. I just don't know where I'll fit yet.
Well, would you like to be a character that makes it to the end if they do come out with something?
No, I'm over that. I like dying.
Perfect.
I would be offended if I got a script and I lived. I would be offended. I'd be like, what did I do to deserve this? I'm on death 5, and now you're going to keep me alive. He actually had an idea for one season that didn't go, where I would have been the captain of a cruise ship, and Chucky would be running around this cruise ship. And at the end, when you think I've survived, I actually get pushed off into the water, and sharks tear me apart. And I was so excited for this, and it obviously didn't go. But yeah, if there was another season, or if there is something else, I would definitely want to die.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your
What
name?
a weird job I have.
Hi there, my name is Shannon. My favorite movie with you has been Black Friday.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite story from that show? And would you work with Bruce Campbell again if you
My
had the
favorite
chance?
story was telling Bruce Campbell that I ripped him off for Idle Hands. Like, I was 18 when I did Idle Hands, and I was coming out of my Bruce Campbell / Jim Carrey phase. Like, I loved Evil Dead 2. I loved Army of Darkness. I loved all the Ace Venturas. That was life back then. And so when I got the audition for Idle Hands, I did my best Bruce Campbell. Like, I was just, when the dishes and all that. And so I told Bruce Campbell that on Black Friday. I don't know, like, I basically, hey, I ripped you off. And that was an interesting conversation. But the guy is exactly how you'd want him to be. He really is a big sweetheart, and I enjoyed it. We were heavy into COVID back then. We had a lot of rules and regulations that we had to go by, but it was still a pretty incredible experience to be working with one of my childhood heroes as far as horror and comedy, and
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brandon. I was wondering what it was like to work with Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, Glenn Danzig. Listen, if I saw Glenn Danzig at the supermarket picking up a bag of cat food. I'd give him a big hug. I think we definitely had. He's what I thought Fred Durst was going to be like. Like Glenn Danzig is a true fucking rock star. Like he walked onto set and didn't like the color of a wall and said, "I gotta paint this wall." And we all waited while they painted this wall, in a good way. Like he's just a real trip, and that's what the movie is. I don't know if you've seen the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the movie?
Oh, it was really long. The opening sequence.
I haven't seen it.
What like you're riding on this horse?
Yeah.
With that
Naked girl, and that's how it started.
It's just like
it's like she didn't have to be naked.
Right.
There was no reason.
Yeah, no, totally.
But
totally.
here she was.
Totally. But it's like so long. It's like 15 minutes or something, and that's all. It's all just going on. You're just like watching you just ride.
That's Glenn Danzig.
For like 15 minutes.
Being Glenn Danzig, he's and you know what? People love it. I guess. We went all the way out to the desert twice to get that shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where at what desert?
It was north of L.A. It was an hour and a half north of L.A. And he needed sunrise, so we would get out there at 11 p.m. and we'd set up and wait till like 4:30, 5 in the morning for the sun just to hit that, and we'd shoot it. And then he didn't like it, so we had to go back. But yeah, he's a trip. He's a good guy, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I guess. Thank you.
Do you like the Misfits?
I do. I love the. I love Glenn Danzig. I think he's an interesting artist. Perfect. An interesting artist.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Duran. You probably get this question a lot, but out of all the Final Destination like opening sequences, which one is your favorite? And it can't be the original.
Mine.
If it wasn't yours, what's your second favorite?
Oh, well, second favorite?
Yeah.
I really love. Number 5 is my favorite film of them all.
Yeah.
I'd seen it in 3D, and I thought they did a really good job with the bridge and the stuff flying down, and it really worked in 3D. That's probably my favorite of all the films. So.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ava, and I wanted to know if you've seen I Saw the TV Glow and what your opinion on it was.
Have you seen I've seen the TV Glow?
It's on the what are the kids calling it? The queue. It's on the list of. Is it good?
I have no idea. I haven't watched it
I've
yet.
only heard good things.
It just came out, right? I have it on the list of things that I need to see. Now I want to see it more. That people are randomly asking me if I've seen it.
Have any of y'all seen it?
Anybody seen it?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Worth it?
Perfect. There we go.
What is? It's on Netflix. I have it. That's where it's. Yeah, that's where it's on my list. Is Netflix. What are some of the in the last year? What is everybody watching besides Long Legs and anything? Anything I should be watching? I'm doing a panel for Shudder and IFC in 2 weeks at Comic-Con, and they want to talk about the current state of horror and so. Abigail, I hear that's on the list as well.
Speak No Evil is really good, both of them.
Speak No Evil. What is it? Okay, that's on Netflix too, isn't it?
Shudder.
Oh, it's on Shudder. I should probably subscribe to Shudder since I'm doing their panel. I should probably be talking about Shudder things too. Talk to me.
Yeah, Talk to Me was good. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. I think Talk to Me is a little older, isn't it?
It's a couple of years now, but it's still a really good,
Right.
more modern.
Okay.
And Malignant, would we consider that pretty recent?
I've seen a lot of the stuff. I just last year or so is I've been falling behind a little.
We'll have to brainstorm and go to his table later and give recommendations.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Awesome. Hey, friend, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Esther. I really like you in Final Destination.
Thank you.
If you were to be able to write a scene for somebody or even a scene for yourself, what would it be?
If I was able to write a scene.
Yeah, for Final Destination. Like,
Oh, for Final Destination.
yeah, like.
Oh God, I don't know. Like a premonition death scene.
Yeah.
Maybe something to do with chairlifts on skis. That's always been something that I sit on thinking, what if? What else?
Thanks.
Escalators, elevators. Those are elevators. Tons of stuff could go wrong on an elevator full of people. Maybe even a building, like a 9/11 kind of thing. I don't know. Is it too soon?
I don't know.
Maybe someone sees a building going down and then wakes up and the building starts to go down, but he's already out of the building. I don't know. Anything's possible.
I don't know. We have about 10 minutes left if you guys want to ask more questions. I thought about another good movie, which I'm sure you've seen, Late Night with the Devil.
Yes, I love it.
That one's
I love it. He's actually on stage with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, that's a great one.
So you did mention Idle Hands, and I was going to say I thought you guys, Seth Green, Eldon Henson, and Jessica Alba, you guys were incredible together. What was like the bonding experience like, and also are you a fan of The Offspring?
Yeah, I became a Blink-182, The Offspring, and yes, there was a great soundtrack. So I became fans of those guys. That set was wild. That set was, it was the last time that I had no responsibilities. Like I didn't have rent or bills or anything like that. And so I just remember it being the last time. And we were just goofy young kids having fun doing a movie about a hand possessed. And, Seth Green comes to work every day with, new weird shit like the burrito scene. And he's all of a sudden he's singing about burritos and Jessica Alba was so focused because it was her first big thing, and Vivica Fox was, a trip. We had such a good time on it, and I see them a lot still. Saw Eldon a couple of weeks ago. I see Seth all the time, and so we became good friends, and we had a great time.
I feel like that's the type of movie that we could tell how much fun you were having.
Yeah. I did another movie called Slackers where Jason Schwartzman and Jason Segel, and that was another film where there was a lot of laughing. There was a lot of the crew being kind of annoyed because we'd break character in the middle of a scene because Jason Segel would pull a poster of a monkey out of his bag that like no one knew he was going to do, and it was both those films were a lot of fun to shoot.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Chris. I got to talk to you yesterday and meet you about how much of a fan of Chucky I am. But
thank you.
And I just am really curious because I didn't want to hold up the line on what your thoughts about being in the Fanatic was, because that's one of the most insane movies I've ever seen. Like, what drew you into such a crazy movie, and like, how did you manage to keep a straight face when meeting John Travolta with that haircut named Moose?
Yeah, I got I'd done Life on the Line with John Travolta about the electrical line workers, and he recommended me for the Fanatic. And then I spoke to Fred Durst, and we hit it off really well. It was a wild set. It was, Travolta likes to stay in character, and so he came to set, and everybody called him Moose, and he kind of did his thing, and it was overall a great experience. I think that it took a little shit that it shouldn't have in the beginning. I don't know. I like the film, and I had a really good time shooting it, and I love those two. Those two are great. I still talk to them both a lot. So
yeah, it's just a really fun, crazy movie.
It's a film. It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
I heard all the bad things about it, but I'm like, I was entertained, and that's what movies
do. Listen, we knew what we were doing. There's certain things that happen, like for instance, there's a scene, obviously you know about it, everybody does, where I'm in a car and I turn on the radio and I tell my kid, everybody loves a little Limp Bizkit, and we both jam. That was, I was just joking. Like we were between takes on that. And Fred laughed and I laughed. And after the director finishes their cut, it goes off to the producers. The producers officially own it, and they can do whatever they want. Usually they tweak a couple of things here and there. And so they made a lot of changes on Fred's thing, and they put that scene back in. And I don't know whether Fred would have wanted it in there, and I wouldn't have said it if it was too on the nose. You know what I mean? I'm working with Fred Durst, and I'm talking about Limp Bizkit in the film. But listen, I had a great experience. I would do a Fanatic too. Let me tell you.
All right, thank you.
But also, like, how serendipitous how you're telling us Pulp Fiction's one of your favorites, and then getting to work with Travolta.
To work with Travolta was And you know what? Travolta loves to tell stories. Like you sit there and he will tell stories about how he and Marlon Brando in Mexico, or him and Muhammad Ali jogging in Florida, or studio, and you just sit there like, oh my God, these are incredible stories that he just loves to talk about. It's really cool. He's had a very awesome life.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm also a huge fan growing up.
Thank you.
You were one of my crushes.
Thank you.
Like probably every girl. But my question for you is, you've done a variety of genres, and Final Fantasy was kind of your kickoff to horror. So did you know after that film that you were going to want to go down the genre of horror, or what led you to want to do more horror films?
Well, Idle Hands came a little bit before. I guess that was more comedy horror. After shooting Final Destination and seeing the actual final product, I realized do what you love. I'd been renting horror films since I remember there was this video store called ABC Video, and it was down the street, a 5-minute walk, and I had an ABC Video card, and the little old guy at ABC Video would let me rent whatever I wanted as long as it wasn't behind the curtain. And I did. I'd rent whatever. It was always the horror or the action, and I would rent whatever weird cover, Pumpkinhead, Critters, Ghoulies, all these, great, and I loved it. I absolutely loved that stuff, and so as soon as I did Final Destination and saw the final product, I knew that I always wanted to keep visiting that. Like, do what you love, do what you watch. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
My name's Dennis, and my question is actually one of the first movies I saw you in was Now and Later. Did you ever get to meet any of the iconic 4 women?
Yeah, they were there the whole time.
Were they?
Yeah, well, Demi was a producer, and Rita Wilson, Rosie O'Donnell, and Melanie Griffiths, they would show up. They showed up, and they kind of, for a few weeks.
Well, yeah,
they were all such good friends that they were just hanging out at some point. Brendan Fraser was there eventually. Yeah, they were there a lot. But what was really cool for me, being I think 14 at the time, is when I got to talk to some of the husbands, like Bruce Willis or Tom Hanks or any of these. Antonio Banderas, and this is the '90s. Those guys were
big time.
Big
They
time.
give you a lot? My next question was, did they give you a lot of advice while you were there in studio, or did you ask, or were you more just awestruck? Because again, they were huge actors back in the '90s.
The women that
the males.
No, I didn't see too much of them. But the women, like Demi and Rosie and all of them, they were just. It was a very comfortable set. It was we had a predominantly female crew, female DP, female director, and so everything was relaxing. You know what I mean? I remember it being just very comfortable. It was a really good experience.
Okay. Well, thanks for all the movies you've been in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Also, the soundtrack for Now and Then is so good too.
Awesome. Yeah. And we would jam out to that, and they gave us, I guess, CDs when we got there in our welcome baskets, and a lot of those songs were burnt onto discs, and we had to listen to them. The girls more so because they had to sing them, but they gave us like 70s candy and 70s. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Harmony. I was just wondering, what one of the first horror movies that you watched, what got you into wanting to act?
I don't know which one was the first. I remember the first ones that kind of stuck with me was the Creepshow movies. Somehow I had Elvira on VHS and was watching that. I remember these are the first ones I remember. Probably a couple of the Halloween movies and yeah, those are the first ones I remember. I remember seeing the first Creepshow. That's the first one that really stuck. That's when I really knew I loved it. And then watching, I guess part 2's that came a little bit later, but with the raft and yeah. I had the poster of Return of the Living Dead on my wall at an early age, with the famous one with the 2 punks, the skeleton punks. Those are the early ones, I think.
Thank you. Awesome.
You're welcome.
So before we do wrap it up, I want to know if you can tell us about Heart Eyes.
Yeah, Hard Eyes I've seen, and I think it's going to be gigantic. Josh Rubin, who directed a few really big films, Werewolves Within, I think that's the one he did. He directed it, and it's really hard to explain. It's as if it's a 90s rom-com, like Sleepless in Seattle or any of these films, and then we insert this wild Valentine's Day type killer into it. And it's the makers of Scream and Thanksgiving, and it's going to be wide in theaters, and I just think the world of it. I think it's going to be really cool. Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt are our two young stars, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
It comes
Very
out
cool.
a week before Valentine's Day.
Okay, so soon.
Oh
my gosh.
It's a date slasher movie.
Perfect. We love that. Awesome. Do we have a photographer hiding out back there? Thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe? No? All right. Well, we usually take a big group picture, but I don't know if we have a photographer. I can try to take one on my phone. Do we want to do that, or is
It's
that?
up to you. It's up to you.
I feel like we should. Why
Sure.
not?
Yeah, yeah.
If it's okay with you guys, we'll just have to really smush in, and we'll make this happen. Okay.
Thanks everybody for coming to listen.